They say the live is on. Live is on right now. So hope everybody's had a great day thus far. I'll wait till some people come in here before I start talking. But the live is on. As y'all are coming in, I'll give everybody a few seconds. Give everybody a few minutes. I'm gonna just hold these up while I wait. We're gonna start this live in like 45 seconds. As y'all are coming in, you can leave a comment and introduce yourself in the comment section. Just tell me who you are, where you checking in from. Tell me who you are, where you checking in from. We're gonna start this live in 30 seconds. We don't like to take too much time here on the introductions. We like to get right into the meat of the matter, right into the situation, whatever it happens to be. So we got Facebook on my right, Periscope on my left, and Instagram right down the middle. So we got D1 Doll checking in from Dallas. What's up? Coffee the Great. What's going on? Matt from New Mexico. All right, we ain't waiting for everybody else. I'm about to introduce myself, then we're gonna get right into this. VAs in the house. If anybody else shouts themselves out before I finish my intro, I'll shout them out. Then I'll shout out everybody else or answer questions at the end. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and I am a former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 publications that y'all call books, over 1,600 publications that some of y'all call it a podcast, but what I put out every day is called a masterclass. It's called Work on Your Game. You can find it on every podcasting platform. I have published over 7,000 videos online, over 5,000 articles online. I've been in this game for a minute, putting that work in. And that's why this whole philosophy, Toronto in the house was good. This whole philosophy that I created, this brand, this company is called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the mental tools that you need to be successful in the sports world and teaching how those tools can be applied in the business world and just in the world of being alive. Because if you're in business or you play a sport, it means you also have a life, and you need to be able to apply these tools in everything that you do. So playing sports is not just about playing sports. There are values that you can extract from your sports experience, but you got to know how to extract them, what to extract, and then what to do with them. That's where I come in. I fill in that void for everybody. Devin McCall from NC checking in on Facebook was good. Today's topic is everything ain't for everybody. Now, why is this topic the topic? The reason why I'm talking about this one here is because these days, with the internet being the internet, everybody can see what everybody else is doing. And anybody who's doing something that you're proud of, you probably are broadcasting it in some way so that everybody can see it, which is a great thing because it allows us to connect with each other. You got the interconnectivity of the internet. You can connect with and interact with people that you never heard of or otherwise never would have known if it wasn't for the internet. That's a great thing. Like, we couldn't do live streaming if it wasn't for the internet. The internet allows us to do this. However, one of the challenges with the fact that we can see everything that everybody else is doing is sometimes we get caught up or we get distracted looking at what somebody else has going on or thinking that we can do what somebody else is doing just because we saw them doing it, or it looks fun, or it looks rewarding, or it looks like something that we're capable of, until we get into it and we've invested a lot of our most valuable resource, which is time, and only to realize after we have invested our most important resource and not used it where it should have been going, we've realized after time that this is not the right thing for us to be doing. I remember once in high school, we were outside at lunchtime, and there was this court, the basketball courts out on the playground, and one of the rims was lower than all the other rims. So it was low enough that pretty much anybody could dunk on this rim. So this rim was probably like 8.5 feet high. So somebody grabbed the extra basketball, and all the males, we all running up dunking on this court. I don't know if I even bothered dunking on the court. I knew I could dunk on the court, but everybody's running up dunking on it and having fun, and people who can't normally dunk, they're dunking, at least the ones who are athletic, and everybody else is standing around watching. Then there's one guy who I knew was not athletic. He wasn't an athlete at all. Now some of his friends were athletes who like to play basketball every day, but he personally didn't really play basketball like that. He wasn't a basketball player, he wasn't an athlete, but all his friends were dunking on his court. So of course, being that his friends were doing it, he grabbed the ball and he goes up and he tries to dunk on the court. He tried to do this two-hand dunk, but he's not athletic at all. I don't even know if he had excuse me. I don't know if he even had sneakers on that day. He might have had Timbs on. He tried to dunk on the court. He gets stuck on the rim, which is like when you try to dunk, but then the ball hits the rim and the rim basically blocks your shot. And he fell down on his ass, fell backwards on his ass trying to dunk the basketball, and everybody's laughing at him. And I thought of that story when I'm telling y'all this point right here, which is everything ain't for everybody, which is sometimes in life you see other people doing something that looks easy, it looks fun, it looks like something that you should get involved in. Only, again, once you get involved in it, you realize that maybe you shouldn't have been doing that. Maybe it's just not the thing for you. Just because your friends are doing it, just because everybody else is doing it, just because you see that there's money being made in it, just because you see there's attention to be gotten from it, doesn't mean that you should partake. So what we're talking about here today is the skill of discernment. And what discernment is about personal judgment. And personal judgment means looking at a situation, then looking at yourself, or a situation / opportunity, then looking at yourself and asking yourself and being honest with yourself and answering, is this really for me? Do I really fit in over here? Is there really a space for me in here? Is this something that I could benefit from, as opposed to opportunity costs, all the other things that I could be doing? So just because you could be successful in this area over here doesn't mean that you should dedicate your whole life to that, because look, maybe there's something else where you would be more successful, is more natural for you, is more fitted to your skills, is a bigger opportunity. So for example, if I wanted to go to law school and take, I don't know how many years law school is, whatever number of years it is, pass law school, study for the bar exam, take the bar exam, and become registered or accredited to legally practice law in the state of Florida. Could I do it? Do I have the ability to do it? Am I smart enough to read the books and pass the classes and pass the bar exam and become a lawyer? Yes, I think I could do it if I wanted to dedicate my resources to doing that. But does that mean I should do it? See, there's a difference between the two. Just because you can do something does not mean you should do something. And what I found these days, especially with the people that I talk to, there are a lot of individuals out there who think that just because they can do something, because they have the ability, they see they have things lined up, oh, I could do this, this person's gonna help me, I got this information, that means they should just go run and do something. That is absolutely false. Understand the skill of discernment. I've done a masterclass on this very topic. Just because you can does not mean you should. And discernment is your ability to look at a situation and figure out what is the best decision that I can make here. Not a decision, but the best decision. Because there are 1,000 different things. If you listen to me right now, there's 1,000 different things you could be doing in life. The challenge is you don't have 1,000 minutes to do each one of them every single day. So you have to figure out, and you got to cut some things out. So let's get into our point, so I don't step on anything that I'm going to share with you here today. The topic, once again, for those who came in the middle of my introduction, everything ain't for everybody. Now let's get into it. Number one, this is most importantly a skill of discipline. Most important thing when you look at stuff and realize everything ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for everything is your personal discipline. Meaning knowing when to engage with something that is going to be useful for you, or how long to test it out before you realize that it's not, make a decision and get out of there, and knowing when not to. One of the biggest disciplines that any of you can develop, especially if you've already decided where you want to focus. If you decided that, I'm going to build this business, I'm going to serve this client, and this is what we're going to offer them, and that's what I'm going to do. Once you've decided on that, when you decide, I'm going to play this sport, and let's say you used to play 3 sports, now you narrowed it down to 1 sport. Once you decide what you're going to do, you make a commitment to that thing that you're doing in any area of your life, short term or long term, the most important discipline is not allowing yourself to get distracted from that thing that you have decided to focus on, and not getting sidetracked trying to do this thing and that thing and that thing. So you decided that you're going to be a singer. Now don't get distracted trying to be a dancer and an online influencer and a YouTuber and a podcaster and a fashion designer all at the same time. Because when you start dissipating your focus amongst multiple different things, the challenge is you can never become your best at anything if you're not 100% focused on it. If you're trying to focus on 2 things at the same time, maybe if you're talented enough and the timing is right, you can be good at both things. But you will never be great at more than one thing at the same time, or you'll never be great at anything if you're not focused solely on that thing. You want to get to your highest level of potential. That's the better way of saying it. If you want to maximize your potential in anything, you have to give your full focus to it. If you're splitting your focus amongst multiple things, you will not be your best at any of them. No matter how good you are relative to other people, that's not the same as you being your best. So just because you're better than everybody in your neighborhood or the best in your family doesn't mean you are your best. You're not at your full potential because you are not 100% focused. This is a discipline, ladies and gentlemen. What you need to understand is your zone of competence, or what I like to call your zone of excellence. What is your zone of excellence? Do you even know? Where in your life, what area, what focus, what disciplines, what types of activities, what types of techniques, what industry or industries, plural, are you excellent at? Where are you excellent in life? Not where are you good, not where are you competent, not where could you do something? Not where do you see other people doing it? Where are you excellent? Where are you at a level that you're like, nobody can touch me when I'm focused and I'm doing my thing in this area right here? Or you're pretty close to that level of nobody can touch you. And as you get better, you develop some skills and some experience, you could get to that level of being untouchable and unstoppable. Where is that for you? If you don't know, then get around and experiment and find out where your zone of excellence is. And once you do know where your zone of excellence is, everything that you do, you need to measure against, all right, does this keep me in my zone of excellence or is it taking me out? All right, is it a yes or no question? Or is it either or question? Is this keeping me in my zone of excellence or is this pulling me out of my zone of excellence? All right, a fish, for example, is an expert in water, as they say, but you take the fish out of the water and all of a sudden that fish is not so dangerous to you or not such an expert. A shark might destroy you if it catches you underwater in the ocean, but if you pull a shark out of the ocean and lay it out on the sand, that shark is not as much of a threat to you because it's not in its natural element. It's no longer in its zone of excellence. What is your zone of excellence? Many of us end up stretching ourselves out of our excellence zone. One reason is because we try to do too many things. We do not delegate. So instead of focusing on what we do best, we're doing a whole bunch of things that maybe we're okay at, maybe we're mediocre, maybe we're even really good, but we're not doing what we do best. So we are taken away from the area in which we would be excellent because we're given so much time, effort, energy, attention, and focus to areas where we are not great. That's one reason why people don't stay in their zone of excellence and get the most out of their potential. And this is a bad idea. Another really bad idea is we see other people doing things and we think in our human arrogance that we can do everything we see other people doing. All right, this is a really bad idea. Thinking you could do something just because somebody else did it, even if you can do it, even if you've done it before, even if you think you can do it better than them, does that mean you should go do it? Again, for example, I've been to a Walgreens or something, and there was a customer service person, an employee working at Walgreens. They weren't really that good at their job. They were not very helpful. They didn't smile. They weren't friendly. They didn't say hello when I walked by. They didn't have a whole lot of energy. And I'm looking at them. I could think to myself, you know what? I could do this job at working the register at Walgreens better than this individual right here who's getting paid for the job. But does that mean, even if it's true, does that mean I should go get a job at Walgreens just so I could prove that I could do better at the register than this individual over here? Probably not, unless that's my zone of excellence working at Walgreens or unless I'm trying to figure something out. But if I already know my zone of excellence is to be an entrepreneur or to play basketball or to have a podcast, I don't need to go prove that I could go run a laundromat or work at Walgreens or be an Instagram model. Just because I think I can doesn't mean I should. Everybody needs to understand. Remember the difference between what you can do and what you actually should do. So sometimes in life, you have to, what I call, appreciate, but not participate. Everybody heard that? Sometimes in life, you should appreciate, but not participate. I like music. I listen to music most of the day when I'm working. I appreciate music. I appreciate Rick Ross. I appreciate Kendrick Lamar. I appreciate Alicia Keys. I appreciate Rihanna and Beyonce. I can appreciate them, but that doesn't mean I need to go participate. That doesn't mean I should go sing or make a rap album or try to be a producer. All right. Sometimes in life you can admire something as a spectator and just respect that other people are doing that, and then you go do your thing and then let the people come watch you do what you do. Do not try to do everything everybody else is doing. That is a foolish pursuit. You will always in the long run lose. Point number 2. Topic here today is everything ain't for everybody and everybody ain't for everything. Number 2, this is a saying that any of you who works in marketing or any type of online sales or building a community, y'all have heard this saying before. It goes as follows. The riches are in the niches. The riches are in the niches. What exactly does that mean? It means being detailed, getting granular as far as what you do, what you offer, who you do it for, and how you do it in such a way that you get really, really specific so that you are cutting out, you're actually getting rid of a large proportion of the audience, of the population, so that you're serving a very small niche audience. And small is a relative term, but a small niche audience, some people call it niche or niche, whatever one, a niche audience that only you can serve. The riches are in the niches. Why are the riches in the niches? Because when you are very specific as to what you offer and how you offer it and who you do it for, when somebody needs that thing, they don't have 1,000 different options as to who to go to. They only have one option, ideally only one option, which is you. Maybe 2 or 3, 4 or 5, maybe only one in the neighborhood. You are the only one who does that thing, so they have to come to you. So a simple example is if your back was hurting, for example, it's been hurting for a long time, you tried everything, your back is still bothering you, you could either A, go to a general practitioner, that's like your family doctor, and let them take a look at your back, or B, you can go to a chiropractor. Those who don't know what a chiropractor is, that is a doctor who specializes in the back. Which one would you go to? If your back is really bothering you, you're probably going to go to the doctor that specializes in your back, right? Or, what's going on, Olga? Or if your foot, something's wrong with your foot, you would go to a podiatrist. Why? Because they focus on the foot. Or if something's wrong with your iPhone, you would go to the Apple store. Why? Because they focus on the iPhone. They focus on Apple products. So the riches being in the niches, meaning you either identify or create a niche to where only you can serve that group, only you can do that thing. You are the only option in that particular area. And the riches are there because, listen, you don't need to have 1 million followers when you're the only person who can offer something. You don't need to have whatever else you consider to be a lot. You don't need to be an influencer, quote unquote, when you are the only person who can serve a particular audience, because that audience could be 500 people, it could be 1,000 people, it could be 10,000, it could be 50 people. That audience, when they need what they need, they have to come to you. So you don't need everybody in the world to know about it. You don't need everybody in the world to even need it. All you need is that 50 or 500 or 1,000 people. You charge the right amount and you give them enough value in exchange. You can make all the money that you need just from that tiny niche audience, as opposed to the person who has 1 million followers, but they're all surface level. None of them really need anything specific from that individual, but they just like that person. But are they going to buy anything from it? So this is how, since we're on social media, we can say something like a person could have 1,000 followers on social media and generate more money from that 1,000 followers than a person who has 1 million followers on social media. Why? Because the person with 1,000 followers could be very specific and very niche in what they're offering, whereas a person with 1 million could be very general and very broad, and everybody who follows them because of something surface, but not because there's anything they specifically need from that individual they can't get anywhere else. Now that's just an example, but you can use that. You can apply that to anywhere in life. So the questions you should ask yourself when it comes to the riches being in the niches: number one, what can you do that nobody else can do? If you don't have an answer to this question, you should work on coming up with an answer or figure out what the answer is. What can you do that no one else can do? And it doesn't have to be no one else in the world. What can you do that no one else on this football team can do? Because then you have to play, right? Because you're the only one who can do it. Now you got to get in the game. What can you do that no one else on the basketball team? What can you do that no one else in the city can do? If you're the only person in the city who can fix a broken back, then anytime somebody breaks their back, they got to come to you. All right, now that's a niche. You own that niche, at least in the city in which you live. Now, anytime somebody has that problem, they got to come to you. All right, what can I do that nobody else can do? You're the only person you're the only plumber who's on call 24/7. So if somebody wakes up in the middle of the night and their toilet starts overflowing and flooding up their bathroom, you're the only one who's open who can come and fix their toilet at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is a niche. You own that niche. So the question you ask yourself, what can I do that no one else can? Where can I corner and own the market? Another version of the same question. What intersects with my zone of competence? So if your zone of competence is you like speaking, you like doing any type of public speaking, you probably shouldn't get a job as a computer coder, because they don't need to do any public speaking. All they do is sit on computers and type all day. If that's not your zone of excellence, you probably want to find something where you can talk, like maybe going into running for public office, or being some type of religious leader, or doing a live stream every single day, or starting a podcast, or making a YouTube video, something where you can utilize your zone of excellence abilities. Where is your zone of excellence? If you don't know, you need to find out. Then ask yourself, what can I do that allows me to utilize this skill that puts me in my zone of excellence? What intersects with the zone of excellence / competence? Where is there a market that wants and needs what I offer? All right, this is an important one too. Where is there a market that wants and needs what I offer? All right, so if you sell ice cold beverages, you probably don't want to be selling them somewhere where it's cold all the time. You probably don't want to work in Alaska. You want to work somewhere like Miami or LA or Arizona, where it's really hot and people need a cold beverage because they are physically uncomfortable because of the heat. If you're selling heat, let's say you sell heated blankets. You know, the heated blankets people can put on their beds when they go to sleep at night because it's so cold. You probably don't want to sell those in South Florida or Arizona or Los Angeles. It's an opposite market because it's already hot. People don't want a heated blanket. Maybe there are some people who do, but you get what I'm saying. Where can you set yourself apart from everyone else? Genius, ladies and gentlemen. It shows itself not in doing everything great, but doing a few things and mastering those few things. A genius is not a person who knows everything and can do everything. A genius is a person who knows exactly what they're great at, they know what their zone of excellence is, and they stay there. The genius is in the simplicity of not stretching yourself too far, trying to do too much. The idiot is the person who, because they believe they're skilled and talented, and maybe they're right, they try to do too many things and they stretch themselves out, and therefore we never get to fully appreciate their real excellence, which they might not even know what it is. Point number 3, topic here today, for those who came in the middle of this, is everything ain't for everybody. And everybody ain't for everything. Number 3, how you know when something isn't for you versus when you are just not good, but you should stick around and keep working? This is a great question. It's a question that people have asked me. It's a question that I have addressed in the past. I'm going to address it right now. Let me ask the question again. How do you know when something is not for you versus when maybe it will be for you, but you just don't have the skill yet? You just don't have the experience yet. You just need to get a little bit more time in the game. Then it will be for you. Because when I was playing basketball, for example, when I first started playing, I was not very good. And by what I've said so far, maybe that should mean I quit. But what if I kept working on it? What if I kept practicing? I got a little bit more experience, build up my discipline, my confidence. Maybe eventually I would be good at it. So how do you know when you should quit versus when you should walk away because you're just never going to be good, but you should stick, or you should stick with it because you will eventually become good? That's a great question, right? What is the answer to the question? Well, first of all, you got to do 2 things. Number 1, you got to put in at least put in a certain amount of time so you can find out, is this thing really for you? Do you enjoy the practice? Do you enjoy the training? Do you enjoy getting better? Do you enjoy going through even the frustrations and the time where things aren't working? Are you looking forward to coming back and getting better and going back at it the next time? Do you enjoy actually doing the work and developing yourself? And the second thing you must do is listen to your instincts about whether to stick with it or not, whether you stick with it or you should move on. All right, there is no black and white. All right, if this happens and this happens and the birds flap their wings this way and the sun is shining at this angle, you should quit. But if it rains this day and your mom says this and you roll the dice and it comes up a 3 or a 4 or a 5, you should keep going. It doesn't work like that. All right, you will have to listen to your instincts and decide, is this something that I want to keep trying at? Is this something that I want to keep working at? Do I want to see how far I can go with this? Or is it something that is just not for you? And again, you got to listen to your instincts to know the answer to that question. I just did a live last week where I talked about reconnecting with your instincts. It is on if you're on Periscope, y'all know where to find it. Facebook is on my page and IG is on the IGTV tab on my profile on Instagram. So go watch that video that I did where I talked about reconnecting with your instincts. If you don't know how to listen to your instincts, if you don't know what your instincts sound like, if you feel like you have lost touch with your instincts, listen to that live so you can understand it. So what you do to decide whether or not you should keep going or not is listen to your instincts, and you got to put some time in so you can figure out, at least get some information for you, activity knowledge, as to whether this is a thing for you or not. So for those of you who don't know my story, when I was in high school playing ball, I got cut from the basketball team multiple times. 3 years in a row, got cut from the basketball team. So after my 3rd time getting cut, I thought maybe I should give up and go do something else, because obviously it wasn't working. But I kept getting this vision that I would be a basketball player, or that I should keep trying to play basketball. So I went and gave it another shot, eventually made the team, and everybody lived happily ever after, ended up playing professional basketball after all of that. Even though at the time, when I got cut from the team 3 years in a row, the reality wasn't looking too great, right? But the fact that I kept going, the fact that I listened to my instincts told me, my conscious mind said quit because I had all these failures. Reality was saying quit. Well, my instincts were saying give it another shot, keep trying. And because I listened to my instincts, I kept trying, giving it another shot, and eventually I was able to make it happen. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to work out the same way for you. That's because I'm me, you're you. We have different circumstances. So you got to be willing to listen to yourself, not listen to what other people did or what somebody else said, but what you said. I'm just giving you the framework for how to figure that out. It's not about what I tell you to do. It's about what you tell you to do. Because what I say to you is not nearly as important as what you say to you. All that being said, I'm going to tell you how you can get this book right here in front of me. I'm going to tell you how you can get this book for free, shipped to your doorstep. I'm talking literally, they will drop it at your doorstep. The mailman will knock on your door and hand you this book. Tell you how to get it. This right here is called The Mirror of Motivation. The subtitle, as you can see, is The Self-Guide to Self-Discipline. And this is the first book of mine that you should read. I've written 27 books. So if you're wondering which book should you start with, this is the book. And I'll tell you about this one in a minute. The reason why you want this book is because everybody who's listening to me, you have something that you wish to achieve in life. You got some kind of goal. You're not listening to this if you don't have goals. And you understand that you got to do something to reach your goals. You got to give something to get something, right? You can't get something for nothing in life. Nobody who is sane of mind thinks they're going to get something for nothing in life. The challenge is, even though you might be doing a lot of hard work right now trying to get to your goal, you're not quite getting there because you have not asked yourself a question that nobody ever told you about and nobody ever told you how to answer it. But I'm going to tell you right now. The question you need to ask yourself is, who do I need to be? What type of person do I need to be? What kind of energy do I need to have? How do I need to see myself when I look in the mirror? How do I need to get other people to feel about me when they come across me, when they see me every single day? That is what this book is about. This book, The Mirror of Motivation, will provide you the frameworks. This is 166 pages. Will provide you the frameworks for how you answer the question, who do I need to be? And why do you want to answer this question? What is it going to do for you? Here's why. When you answer the question, who do I need to be? The energy that changes within you through answering that question, the book is going to show you how to do that, is going to change the results of your actions. So when you go do the same actions you were doing yesterday with a different energy, you're going to get a completely different set of results. That's what the question, who do I need to be? That's what it does for you, and that's why it's such an important question. And this is why, if you see a lot of people out there in the world working hard, yet they do not get the results they want, this is why, because they do not know. They're not even aware of the questions, not because they're losers or they want to fail, it's because they're unaware of a question that they never ask themselves. You will never have that problem because I'm telling you how to solve it. You get this book for free. I've already paid for the book. All you do is cover the shipping by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. That's the title of the book. Take out the word the. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We ship the book to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. Now, we also have 3 other books in what I call the 4-part Bulletproof Bundle, which is 4 books on the mental game, going directly in order of what my philosophy is about. This is the book on discipline. I got another book on confidence. There's a 3rd one on mental toughness and another one on personal initiative. You can get all 4 of those books. We call it the Bulletproof Bundle. When you go to mirrorofmotivation.com, there's a little checkbox on the form where you put in your information. If you want all 4 books, just check that box. We'll make you an offer to get all 4. On the very next page, again, that's mirrorofmotivation.com. On the next page, we're going to make you an offer to get this book, Work on Your Game, which is my 250-page magnum opus where I took my whole Work on Your Game philosophy, condensed it down in a readable, digestible 250 pages. You can read this book in, I would say, 48 hours. This is a very well-written book. It reads very smoothly. When you read the book, you're going to feel like you're listening to my voice, even though you're just looking at words on the page. That's how well written this book is. You will get this and my book, The Mental Workbook, which is the framework workbook that will help you do everything that's in this book right here. We get that on the next page. So this plus the Mental Workbook will be on the next page after you go to mirrorofmotivation.com and claim your free copy of The Mirror of Motivation. Now I'm going to recap these points, and if there's a question, anybody got a question, go ahead and post in the comments. I'll address it and make sure it's related to the subject and keep it short. Topic here today is everything ain't for everybody. Number 1, this is most importantly a discipline. Knowing what to walk away from and knowing what to focus on. Genius shows itself not in doing everything, but in doing a few things and doing them at an excellent level. Learn to appreciate but not participate in life. You can appreciate what somebody else does. Doesn't mean you need to start doing it. Number 2, the riches are in the niches. What can you do that nobody else can do? Where can you corner the market? What intersects with your zone of competence? Where is there a market that wants and needs what you offer? When you can answer those questions, you know where you will have a much better idea, rather, of where your niche is, and that's where you should focus, and you should never, ever, ever leave that niche unless you're changing your niche, period. Genius shows itself, again, not in being great at everything that they see everybody else doing, but in doing a few things so well that nobody else can mess with them at that thing, and they can own the market. Number 3, how do you know when something is not for you versus when you're just not good at it and you should walk away? 2 things. Number 1, you got to put the time in so you can get enough activity knowledge to see what kind of results you're really getting. And number 2, you got to listen to and trust your instincts. If you don't know how to trust your instincts, you don't even know how to listen to your instincts. I did a live on that exact topic last week, so just look back. Whatever platform you're watching me on right now, it is there. Whether we're talking YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Periscope, I have talked about these things. Or if you're a gang group member, those of you who don't know what the gang group is, when you go to mirrormotivation.com, we'll tell you about it. That is also where you can get the masterclass where I talk about reconnecting with, learning to listen to your instincts. I got about 10 masterclasses on instincts inside of the gang group membership. All that being said, let's see if we got any questions. I'm not sure we got any. I wasn't watching the whole comment section while I was talking, but if there's a question, I'm gonna address it right now. And somebody said, do diets work? Well, diets are nothing but plans. So plans don't work, people work. So everybody, again, mirrorofmotivation.com is where you get your free copy of this book. All you do is cover a small shipping charge. We ship this book to you wherever you are. Brandon said, I've seen someone that can't balance a relationship and work life. I'm trying to accept that everyone ain't adaptable. Yeah, some people are not adaptable. Maybe they just don't have the right strategy. So what they need to be doing is listening to my guys. I can help them out, whoever that person happens to be. But everybody, mirrormotivation.com is where you get your free copy of this book. On the very next page, we're going to make you an offer to get this book and my book, the Mental Workbook. So we give you some reading material. If you can't go to school this year, you got to be social distance and learning from home. Let me give you some really good educational materials, better than whatever your professors are teaching you, at mirrorofmotivation.com. So I do these lives every day. The topic always changes. We don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. It comes around this time every day, so just turn your notifications on wherever you happen to be checking it. If you miss it, you can watch the replay. I post the replay on all these platforms, have the replays on them. So just my IGTV tab on Instagram, for those of you who don't know, and I do post these on YouTube as well. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Work on your game. We out here. Dre all day.